Why not renounce your titles as Duke and Duchess?
And what difference would that make?
Why be so public? Why reveal conversations you've had with your father or with your brother?
Every single time I've tried to do it privately, there have been briefings and leakings and planting of stories against me and my wife. You know, the family motto is never complain, never explain, but it's just a motto.
Prince Harry defending his decision to speak publicly about his family and suggesting that he and his wife Meghan will keep their titles despite breaking away from their royal duties. Here to react is host of Piers Morgan Uncensored on Fox Nation, Piers Morgan himself. Hey, Piers.
Well, Happy New Year to you,
Ainsley,
and the team. Well,
Yeah.
2023.
I thought about you last night watching the 60 Minutes interview, and I wanted to get your reaction. I'm sure you have a lot to say.
Well, this year started like last year finished, doesn't it? With Prince Harry whining and moaning and slamming his family and being deeply unpleasant about almost all of them, whilst pretending that what he really wants is privacy and freedom from this family and from the institution they represent. And what a telling moment it was, Ainsley, with Anderson Cooper, wasn't it? When he was asked the obvious question, well, if you hate the institution that much and it's so awful and this family is so terrible, well, why do you want to be called the Duke and Duchess of Sussex? Why do you want to remain with the titles?
Why
and he
do
said,
they?
well, what
Do they
difference
make
would that
money?
make? I'll tell you what difference it makes. Well, it makes $100 million worth of difference, doesn't it? Because that's pretty much what he's raked in the last year from all his own media relationships. He spent most of the time with his British TV interview last night, and I think probably with Anderson Cooper as well. I haven't seen the whole thing yet, but probably spent most of that time as well complaining about intrusion by the British press. And yet, who has been the single most intrusive person into the lives of the royal family? Who's talked about private conversations with the new king at the funeral of the king's father? Who's talked about all the behind-the-scenes machinations of the frantic trip to Balmoral as the Queen was dying? Who has talked about being beaten up by his brother, having his poor little necklace broken, etc., etc.? The answer is Prince Harry. Prince Harry has turned out to be the single most intrusive person the royal family's ever been exposed to. And I'm just not going to sit here on behalf of the British media and take any more of his hypocritical guff about him saying it's all down to us, when he clearly is on a one-man mission to dismantle the monarchy.
You know, everyone has stuff that happens in their families, but you don't go out and spread it all to the world. So a lot of people I'm watching on social media have a problem with that. They just say, look, there are a lot of celebrities out there. They have things going on behind the scenes within their families. We all have, things that we can work on with our family, and we don't go out and broadcast it. We support one another. He was asked if he asked his dad not to marry Camilla, and he said, yes, my brother and I both said, don't marry Camilla. He said, why? He said, why is it necessary? We do want him to be happy. But he also said this, listen.
I even wanted Camilla to be happy. Maybe she'd be less dangerous if she was happy.
Mm-hmm.
How was she dangerous?
Because of the need for her to rehabilitate her image.
That made her dangerous.
That made her dangerous because of the connections that she was forging within the British press. And with her on the way to being Queen Consort, there was going to be people or bodies left in the street because of that.
Do you think that's true? Does she use the British press? And sometimes he said his dad does too, and uses the sons to make themselves look better.
Of course, the royal family will work with the media in the same way that a presidency does. But the idea that Camilla is the bad one in this picture, to me, is absolutely ludicrous. I was at a private lunch with Camilla, the Queen Consort, just before Christmas. You wouldn't meet a more down-to-earth, delightful woman, who I think has made King Charles extremely happy. And they've been very happily married now for 17 years. But here we have, again, the hypocrisy of Harry. He says, oh, this dreadful woman is using the media to improve her image. What the hell's he doing? He spent the last 2 years trashing his family with Oprah Winfrey, with James Corden, with a 6-part Netflix series, with a book with Penguin Random House, with countless interviews now. It's him that's doing it on the record and viciously against his family, whilst pretending I don't wish to do them any harm. It's laughable.
All right, Piers, we're going to be watching you 4:30 on Fox Nation. He has a show called Piers Morgan Uncensored. If you haven't seen it, it's wonderful. He has great guests. 4:30 day on Fox Nation, every day, Monday through Friday. Thank you, Piers. Great to see you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.